How do you actually make more sales from your Facebook group or your own school community? Now, this is a very popular question that I get, especially in the market and the state of the market right now, because communities all over the place, right? School has taken off like an absolute wildfire. So I wanted to do a dedicated video talking about the two things that I really think every business owner can actually do to make more sales with their group. For those of you guys that don't know me, I'm Nate. I've built a seven-figure business because of content creation and communities. I've also helped clients make millions of dollars in profits using communities. So that's why I am a little bit qualified to talk about this. And am also wearing a Bucky Snuggie. Feel free to roast me about that in the comments. But I do want to actually just talk about these two things. Okay. This is one of the things that gets repeated over and over and over again. Hey, I have a group. It's dead. It's not making sales. And I think there's two different intentions that we can really do with our communities if you actually want to turn it into a sales machine. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to cover for you guys today. Pull up my little notepad and kind of try to break these down for you guys in the best of my ability. And yeah, other than that, let's just dive in and we'll go ham and hopefully get some value from this video. First and foremost, I think we got to get clear on like the purpose that your community actually serves. Now, a lot of the market like looks at community as like a side project or a melting pot for their content, and they just dump as much value inside of this community as possible, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but we do have to have a little bit of intention with this, right? Like you'll see people who drop a 30-hour masterclass inside of their community, which is great, ton of value, ton of context, ton of information. But what they're not telling you is it's an intentional thing that they're putting in the group that actually primes people for uh their paid offers. Okay. So first and foremost, we need to look at number one, and that is who your community serves. Okay. And I know a lot of people like to do like customer avatar exercises. They like to talk about, ideal clients. And uh this is essentially that, but I want to kind of help you reframe the way that you look at this because a lot of people, in my opinion, are getting customer avatars completely wrong. They do this backwards. They look at it in a completely different lens than it actually is. So your ideal avatar isn't a person. It's not a who. It's not Sally who drives a Prius and like drinks pumpkin spice lattes. That's unless you're selling pumpkin spice lattes. Realistically, that's probably not your ideal avatar. Your ideal avatar is actually a pain, okay? A painful situation, can't spell, that they're in, okay? So, what is a painful situation that that person is in that you have the solution to? That is your ideal avatar. What is the solution? Okay, and a really easy way to actually end up creating this and really getting crystal clear on who your group is for is actually looking at the offer or the product that you're selling, because then we can work backwards. Okay, so once I have my product, once I have my offer, once I know what I'm selling, we can actually work backwards from that. Okay, so this is something a lot of the really big communities are doing, a lot of the really successful people are doing, and they're not even telling you, which I'm going to tell you. Okay, so when we talk about who your group serves, it can't necessarily be the exact same thing that your offer covers. So what I mean by this is like, let's say uh, I help business owners generate more leads. Okay, right? That's my offer. Let's say we do some type of done for you service, where maybe I send them 1,000 leads via cold email or something, right? Just as an example, okay? Like this isn't specific to cold email or anything like that. I'm just trying to give you guys context and a different example on this. So let's say my product, my service that I provide to people is I help business owners get leads. I send them 1,000 leads through email. Okay, so what a lot of the market will actually end up doing is they will create a community that actually covers this exact same thing, right? So they'll have a community in their business. It's like, hey, this is how you generate 1,000 leads via cold email, and they'll cover all of this stuff around, getting these leads to the company or to for this business owner. And what this actually ends up doing is like your audience and your customers, your potential customers, are going to start looking at your offers like they don't need it. It's like if I give you step one, two, and three inside of my community, then I can't sell you step one, two, and three. So it's a simple reframe around, getting clear on your group serve who your group serves, but also like making sure that what you're putting in your community gets people ready for your offer. Okay, which is going to roll right into step number two. We like to do this through free trainings, workshops, mini events, live events. But once you're kind of clear on who your group serves, okay, and again, what I was saying is like make sure that you create an end goal for your community. I guess I should also piggyback on that a little bit more. One way that we can effectively do that is create a clear target or end goal for your group. Okay, so this is something that I will talk about. Uh, this is a really effective strategy if you want to use your group as like a main mechanism to produce sales, to produce money, to produce sales opportunities in your business. Is you actually create a target or an end goal for the customer, for the free community member to actually accomplish by coming into your group. Now, if we can intentionally do this in a way that actually gets them ready for what you have to sell, that's best case scenario, like I was just mentioning. So as an example, let's say I help content creators, grow their following. So if somebody comes into my group and the free stuff in my group helps them set up socials, maybe create their first pieces of content, posts, and maybe grow by 100 followers. Okay, followers. Okay. Um, so if they come into my free community and I give them these resources and I give them these strategies and I give them these tactics that are personally going to help them, set up their social media, create their first piece of content, maybe grow 100 followers, it's going to make my job delivering the service or the product that I have easier. It's also going to be an easier sale because they already have some proof of concept in place. They already have the things that I would ideally like them to have before they buy my product in place already. Okay. So a lot of the market, especially in like the digital marketing, online business building space, they literally look at like their ideal avatar or the outcome or what they're helping people with is like money. Okay. Like, so in the beginning of this, at the beginning of this document, right? Who my group serves. Anybody who wants to make money online. It's not deep enough. It's not a tactic. It's not a strategy. You can't target that deep enough. We need to figure out a thing that we can give somebody that actually yields the money or a problem they're facing or the inverse of who your group serves and who you don't serve. Okay. So like I do this a lot in my content. Hey, if you want a magic money button and you want to make $1 million without work, I'm not your guy. There's plenty of people out there that will sell you on that dream, even if it's not real. Okay. That's who I don't serve. Okay. So one, create a target end goal for your community. We do this in our own free community. As an example, right? We run a paid program that's all about, how to turn your group into a sales machine, which is essentially what I'm talking about today. How to install a workshop in your group that's pre-sales your offer 24/7, how to sell it with a Google document, and then content to actually launch. So this is something we cover pretty extensively in our group. Um, but if you look at our free group, free community equals group setup, content being created, quick path. Okay. And the reason we're covering this inside of our own free community, right? Community setup, content being created, quick path to monetizing is because this makes the experience for the customer a whole lot easier, right? If they come into our paid program and they already have an audience, they already have their group up, they already have, they're already in motion. It's going to make like us helping them start turning their audience into sales relatively easy instead of fighting them with getting them to start creating content or spending all this time getting them to create their group or anything like that. Okay. So we want to create some type of tangible result or end goal for the community. And again, ideally, we want this to be in line with the product, in line with the offer that we're selling, in line with the program that we're promoting. right? Because that is how you create a linear process of actually making sales. Instead of you coming into my group and me giving you step 1 through 10 around making money online and then trying to sell you on step 1 through 10, because the immediate feedback you're going to get from your audience, whether they say it or not, is I don't need to buy that. You already gave that to me. I don't have to purchase your program because you just gave me the strategy that you're trying to sell me, right? So I'm not saying you need to intentionally leave this out, but look at the problems, look at the objections and all of the problems that all of the people are coming into your inbox or your sales process or you're seeing in the market, all of the reasons why they're telling you they can't buy, they can't be confident to purchase your program is what we need to highlight and curate the community to be the solution to. Okay. And then step number two, this is what we like to do in our business. Once we're kind of clear on the targets, on the outcome, on the actual micro solution that we're going to give to our community, and obviously getting clear on who our group serves, which you can also do the inverse of that. Who your group doesn't serve is just as important. Um, and remember, your ideal avatar isn't a person, it's a painful situation that you have the solution to. Ideally, a solution that needs to be in place before they're ready to buy. Okay. So I'll give you a few more examples before I move on to step number two. Not to just repeat myself, but I want to make it crystal clear. Okay, so um, let's say I help fitness. I help men rebalance, get their body back, fitness, working out, losing weight, getting in the best shape of their life. Okay, if they're already on some type of diet or workout plan before they buy my product, it's going to make getting them results a lot faster. So then I would curate my free community to be like, hey, you can come into my community, you can lose your first 10 pounds in the first 30 days, etc., etc. And then at the end of those 30 days is when my offer is presented, because then it's a congruent thing. Like, hey, I helped you do all of this really cool stuff for free in my group. Imagine what we could do inside of my paid program. Let's say I help people make money online with the Amazon influencer program. So then I would curate my community to be solving a problem around content creation and building an audience. Because if I sell a product that is, hey, this is how you make money with the Amazon influencer program, the prerequisite to getting approved for Amazon influencer is you need an audience, even if it's small, but you need to be creating content. So instead of them buying my Amazon influencer product, which is like a course or an information product around, um, you know, making money with Amazon influencer, I'm going to show them the pre steps that will make them having success with my product even easier. Okay. So that way, by the time they buy, they already have an audience. They could probably get approved right away. They're already creating content. They're already in motion versus me trying to fight them around getting in motion after they purchase. Okay. One more example for you guys. Let's say I sell digital products. Let's say I sell a popular $497 product in the market. Now, I don't have a ton of context or information around what's inside of those. I've never bought one, probably never will. Um, but let's say it shows all of these different ways to make money online. It shows all these different monetization pathways. It shows content creation. It shows all of these other things around building an online business. And for a beginner, this is going to be extremely overwhelming, right? So what I'm going to do in my community is like, how can I help people come into my free community and pick a plan or a model or a business process that is going to be as obtainable and easy for them based on the individual. And then I'm going to pair that with the product, right? So as an example, let's say this digital product I'm selling has 15 different ways you can make money online. Okay, I'm going to highlight all 15 of those. I'm not going to teach them, but I'm going to talk about, hey, this is how you pick a business model based on your strengths, your weaknesses, your current situation, right? And I'm going to give them the first couple steps to start getting that in motion. And then I'm going to invite them to learn more and dive deep inside of the paid product that I actually have. A lot of people are trying to sell these $497 programs without a sales process, without a nurture process. They're literally posting TikToks and pushing people to a stand store and wondering why nobody is buying. That's not a sales process. It's not a conversion mechanism. You're really going to struggle to make significant amounts of money if you don't have a very deep process in the middle. Okay. So that's what I'm going to personally look at. That's when I'm like, who's my group serves, right? What are the problems that they're currently facing? What are the challenges they're going through? What are all of the reasons that somebody says they can't buy your product is what I'm going to agitate inside of my group while pairing it with a tangible end goal and a target that leads to my paid program. Okay. Hopefully, I'm making sense and not just like talking in circles. Number two, and this is what is going to make your sales easier than ever. Okay, we've done this so many times over the years. This is literally our sales process. When people ask me why we've been able to close thousands and thousands of deals without a single sales call, it is literally because of this. And this isn't with like $22 digital products. We're talking products as much as $9,000 we've closed without calls because we do this. So when we have those targets in place, the outcome, the goal, what we do is we package this into a mini course or training. Okay, we package this into a mini course or some type of training that actually gives the tangible result that we promised. Okay, so that way you come into my group and you get 1 through 5 around X problem. Okay, you come into my group and I give you step 1 through 3 on X thing, right? Actually giving them this tangible result. Okay, and then on for this example, okay, if I do 1 through 5 on step 6, I invite to chat. On step 4, I invite to chat, right? So this is how we actually convert sales. Okay. All of our content drives people into a community where we give them some type of little micro workshop that really answers all of the problems or handles all of the objections that they have around why they can't purchase before we ever even talk about buying anything from us. Okay. So what this would actually look like in your own business, depending on where you're at, I'll use the Amazon influencer as an example. Let's say I help people make money online. So I have my content over here. Okay, I have my content. This is my marketing. This is all of this type of stuff. Okay. And again, you can still do this without having a community. I just prefer to use communities as the main medium for business. So all of my content drives people into my group. Okay. All of the content drives people into my community, which has that clear, tangible result. Okay. And then what I do is I provide this tangible result in a little mini workshop. Okay. I essentially, realistically, probably only have to do this one time. It might not work the first time you do this, but you can also like redo them. You can re-record them. But these create awesome leverage in your business and can become like a very powerful sales mechanism because you can continuously send people through this workshop as many times as you possibly want. Uh, we realistically need to cover a few different things. These are like the 5 main things that you need to cover. Make sure you cover on top of everything else. So that is a origin, right? This is how you discovered the process or the plan that you're going to be covering. This is how you actually found out about the thing that you wanted to do. If I was using the Amazon influencer as an example, I'm going to talk about like how I discovered the Amazon influencer, what has changed in my life since doing the Amazon influencer, etc., etc. Okay. Um, then I'm going to do internal belief. Okay. Then I'm going to do and these are all going to be stories. Okay. So this is going to be like a story about how you discovered this process. The internal belief is going to be a story about something that you believed about this process that was too good to be true, something that you thought about this actual way to make money online, something that you thought about it. Okay, and the reason you're doing this is because you want to bridge that connection with your audience. Like, oh, this is too good to be true. I can just upload videos to Amazon's website and make money. Like, there's no way that's real, right? An external belief, right? What's all the noise that they hear in the market? What's all the noise that everybody else is telling them? Are there people telling them that that's not real? They can't do this. They can't accomplish this. They're not good enough to be a content creator. They're not pretty enough to be a content creator. They're not articulate enough to actually create content. Like, what is an actual uh, external belief? Okay. And then we go plan story, right? And again, this is what I was talking about earlier. This could be kind of bucket. This could probably be broken down into like two to five steps. Okay. And what this is like the actual process and what I was talking about earlier, the pre problems to your offer. So for this example, if I'm doing Amazon influencer as my main product or the thing that I'm selling is an offer, maybe it's a course that teaches people to make money online with Amazon influencer. The plan story is going to be about content. Okay. Right. Because having content in place is a prerequisite to getting approved with Amazon influencer. Right. So again, this will change depending on your actual business, but you need to look at like the actual process that they're going to need to have success with your program or the thing that you're selling. Okay. And then after that, we're going to do invite. All at the end is all kind of leading up to invite to offer. Okay. And again, this can be a simple, hey, if you want to chat about working on the next thing that you're probably going to run into, hey, I just helped you start creating content. You're probably going to start growing your audience and you're going to do A, B, and C. If you want to take the next step and actually turn that audience into money, send me a message with X word and we can chat about that. Right. So that's a good example of how we're turning this into, a qualified pipeline of sales opportunities. Okay. Now you can do this with you could technically do this all in one training. You could split it up into 4 or 5 days. You could split it up into like 6 or 7 days. It doesn't necessarily matter on the delivery. I think something that you're more comfortable with. Um, I would ideally try to keep it under 90 minutes maximum, in my personal opinion, at least right now. Um, again, if you can do these as like little bite-sized chunks, that's also good. You can also do that. Um, but these are all designed to take people on a journey and also help your community really turn into like a sales machine. Okay. So this is actually our my business right now. And this is the model that we've ran for so many years that a lot of people think is way too simple for it to actually work. So my entire seven-figure business consists of this, right? And I'll give you guys a full breakdown. So I post content. Okay. So I do organic social, organic. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I do a lot of organic social. This is like my main marketing for Medium. Now I don't have the biggest audience. Okay, I know people in my space that have 20 or 30 times the amount of audience that I have. Um, and then everything is kind of centralized into what I was just talking about. Mini workshop. Now, you can do this in a group. You could do this outside of a group. You could do this on a YouTube channel. You could do this on a landing page. It does not necessarily matter. We prefer communities. I prefer communities. I believe in communities wholeheartedly that they are the main mechanism for business. But again, you don't have to be like me. You don't have to be like me wearing a Snuggie talking on a YouTube video. Okay. But I do think you should do a workshop. Okay. And then at the end of that workshop, we invite people to buy. Okay. So at the end of that workshop, we invite folks to buy. They send us a message and we close sales with the Google document. Okay. And that's I know that's like a very ugly Charlie Brown style drawing, but that's all I'm doing. Okay? I post organic social media content and that very rarely ever goes viral. Okay, that's like where most of my focus goes. We have one workshop that pre-sells our products for us 24/7. At the end of that workshop, we say, hey, if you want to chat about A, B, and C and working on X problem together, send us a message. And then people send us messages and we send them a Google document that says, hey, you sent us a message about working together. Here's this document that showcases the product. If you have any questions, fire us over a message with anything back and we can chat about it. Right? That's all we're doing. Now, I know this looks like a lot, but like realistically, when you have the workshop done, okay, the workshop's in place, your offer's in place, doesn't have to be a Google document. If you already have an affiliate product or a digital product you can sell, um, your main focus, once all this stuff is in place, is just content. It's just marketing. It's just angles. It's just talking about this workshop, your offer, your conversations, your wins, your results, etc., etc. But you're realistically just spending most of your time in this bucket right here. Okay? We're spending the majority of our time in the marketing. Now, it doesn't have to be organic social. You could be running paid media or whatever your preferred platform is. But we're doing the mini workshop. Now, this can be a very powerful application if you're trying to sell digital products and you're constantly having to go live to sell products. Because this is what most of the market doesn't want to tell you about. The 497 done for you digital product space right now. There is no conversion process. There is no actual mechanism that takes their audience to sales. So they have to go live. Look at the big people in the market. Look at what they're doing. They go live every day for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. And then they talk about a passive income business, which makes absolutely no sense to me. But I digress. That's a story for another time. Um, but this could be probably one of the most beneficial things that anybody who wants to sell done for you digital products at that $497 price point could do in their own business. Okay, so instead of you posting TikToks every day plus live every day and Stan, whatever thing you're using to make sales. This is the model that a lot of the market's using right now. TikToks live every single day, driving as much traffic to their Stan store as humanly possible. What we can actually do instead that will actually create a very leveraged, streamlined process to your business is realistically you don't change anything. You do your TikToks, right? Okay, but instead of going live every day, we record a workshop one time. Now, you could honestly even look at your own live that made the most sales and just redo that. Or if you have a live recording from the past that made the most sales, recreate that in a workshop format because it worked, right? And then you literally just invite to chat, or you just direct a stand store. So what this actually ends up doing to your business, instead of spending all of your time live every single day, which is a very low leverage activity, it's a very low scalable activity. Meaning, if you don't go live, you don't make money. You can end up putting all of your energy into your content and your marketing, which just drives people to the workshop that sells for you, right? So that way you don't have to your sales are no longer tied to your one-on-one effort. Okay. There's a lot of applications for this in business, right? Doesn't have to necessarily be the $497 digital product space. This can also be, somebody who takes sales calls, somebody who does, strategy sessions, somebody who's having to spend a ton of time in the DMs to convince people to buy. The biggest catalyst for your business will be some type of workshop that you can do. Okay, you can do this live one time. You can do this pre-recorded, whatever your preference personally is. But this has been a huge piece in us taking communities to over 7 figures. Done probably $2 million in sales between myself and my business partner. And again, clients have done millions of dollars in profits with communities. And this is a big thing that we've always talked about. Okay, having some type of workshop in place that primes people for your offer. This also is a very easy thing because this becomes like a lead magnet on steroids. Instead of being like, hey, join my community, join my community. It's like, hey, if you join my community, you're going to fix this problem, right? If you look at what I was talking about at the beginning of this video, it's all very intentional. Okay. So, instead of being like, hey, join my group, it's like, no, hey, if you are this person and you're struggling with X problem, this is why you should join my group. Hey, when you join my community, you're going to get this problem fixed. You are here, you're struggling with XYZ, and after you come into my community, you're going to be at X solution. Okay. So it creates a completely different lens of how you end up talking about your product, because instead of like, hey, buy my program, buy my offer, buy my thing, it's like, hey, I want to help you fix X thing. But using our beautiful brains a little bit, we are able to do that in a way that actually primes our audience and gets them ready for the product we actually want to sell. This is how we've been able to sell very high percentages of our audience and make big buckets of money virtually, so to speak, because I've never actually had like a bucket of money with small audience. Okay, I don't have 600,000 followers. I don't have I don't even have 1,000 followers on Instagram, but I still make very consistent money and have been for years. And this is a key part to our business. So hopefully this video covered it. If not, I will leave a complete deep dive free resource in the comment section that you can just have. You can go install it inside of your business. Don't really care what you sell, who you help, whatever it is. Um, I would highly recommend anybody to do this in their business because this is realistically what changed the game for me. It started back in 2020, 2021, maybe back when TikTok first came out. Okay. So when TikTok first came out, standard was like drive traffic to, a low ticket value ladder product, copy and paste viral videos. You make all this money. I had a ton of viral videos, couldn't even sell a $7 product. And this is actually what I started doing without even realizing at the time. Instead of trying to sell from my TikTok, I was actually just taking my TikToks. I was driving them to a Facebook group, right, where I gave them a free 6-day challenge. Okay. And then at the end of that challenge, I said, hey, buy this thing, X offer. Right. And what actually ended up happening in my business when I made this tweak, instead of like trying to convince people to purchase or like struggling to sell this product that was less than $10, I started getting people like seeking me out for the offer. The sale became very easy. They were like, hey, I just bought XYZ. Let's work together. Hey, how do I buy X offer? Right. So a lot of the market right now is trying to go from cold audience to money very quickly. And I honestly believe that we're in an era where that's getting harder and harder. So anytime you can put this type of thing in your business, install this type of workshop in your business, it's going to be very beneficial. In my opinion, it's going to create leverage. It's going to create an asset that sells your products for you 24/7. And when done correctly, it actually makes everything else in your business very simple because then I have content angles, I have marketing angles, I have proof of concept, I have wins, and all these things, which then just kind of compound and flywheel back into getting more people into your workshop and more people into your product. So that's all I got. Again, I will pin a deep dive. I think it's like a 52-page manual that you can just have for free. You don't even have to enter your email address in or anything like that. You can literally just take this document. You can go install this into your business, and you guys have an awesome week.